Now, one thing I've learnt from playing Ark Raiders is that this game has actually reached a really nice audience, and after reading a whole bunch of comments, I've realised that there's quite a few players that, much like me, probably don't have quite as much time to invest in it because they've got a whole bunch of other things going on, such as families, second jobs, just life in general. So what I've tried to put together is a nice little guide for any of you Ark Raiders out there that want to have a lot of fun with the game, find some really cool items that they can use within their loadouts, but also that they can put together quite cheaply. So you'll be able to use these, go out on runs with them nice and easy, and hopefully not have to worry about if you're going to fall over quite as much as you would have if the loadout was costing you tens of thousands of coins each time. So the very first thing we're going to be going over is going to be your augments. If you're using your free loadout, you're going to get your free loadout augment as soon as you possibly can. Get rid of this, you should do. It's not good in any way, shape or form. So if you can, change it over at Lance at your clinic, because whenever you return with these, you'll be able to hand them in and swap them over for better ones altogether. You're going to have a choice with these. You're going to be able to pick from 3 main options. It's going to be your Looting Mark 1, which is actually a really nice augment, but I would say it's probably only geared toward those players who don't want to interact with any PvP basis, because you're only able to get a light shield on it. Other than that though, if you're just focusing on extracting gear and trying to grab things fast, get in and get out, this may be something you want to look at. If however you want one that's a little bit more rounded, the Combat Mark 1 is absolutely exceptional, as it's got an okay carry weight, an okay amount of slot sizes for picking up items you're finding, and that's going to be at 16, and overall it's just a pretty nice easy one that I'd highly recommend using. Other than that, you've also got the Tactical Mark 1, and the real benefit of this one is for anyone who really likes that additional quick slot, as you've got 5 on it. So decide which kind of option you're going for, and then you can trade them in with your old augment you've been bringing back from your expeditions, or of course you can purchase them or create them depending on what you want to do. Remember, if you are creating these, it's absolutely amazing because you're going to have pretty much all of the resources you need from Scrappy, and when you've worked out which one's for you, one thing I would definitely recommend alongside this is, if possible, grab yourself a medium shield. The only one this isn't going to work with is going to be your looting augment, so decide whether that's for you, and if it is, you'll have to go with a green shield, but personally the blue shield has made my life just a whole bunch easier, and again, it's not too expensive to craft. When they do get damaged, you can decide whether you want to repair them, which will cost a little bit of your resources, or you can just dismantle it, grab yourself one of the arc circuitry, and then you'll only need a few batteries in order to make another one altogether. These can be found very easily, or you can purchase them over at Celeste at the traders. So now that that's the basics out of the way, they're going to be your kind of bread and butter, what you'll be taking. Here's going to be a few nice items that some people definitely still aren't using that are well worth having and are also really cheap to create. The first one is going to be your adrenaline shot. This thing is just absolutely outstanding. It's going to help you to get in, get out, get to places faster, run away if you need to, completely avoid someone. And after I've started using these, I don't think I'd go back on not having them, because it's just going to make your life much easier whenever you're within your maps, especially if you're trying to get to a place and loot it a lot faster than some of the other players. This can help you massively solo, but it's also great in a team if you're trying to get somewhere and then just completely hold up in an area before someone else gets there. As you can see in the background, the difference between using this or not using this is absolutely ridiculous, because if you've been playing for a while, you'll know that stamina is a massive thing in this game, and just waiting for it to regen whilst you're very slowly walking along can be a bit of a nightmare, especially if you're under any kind of duress from any enemies. So hopefully this will allow you to get somewhere fast, or like I said, get your extraction point a little bit easier. Now, a few other items that are absolutely amazing, that are a lot better than I realised, because I think I overlooked these because they were the more common items. And the first one is going to be your gas grenade. This is ridiculously good if you throw it into a room of enemy combatants, so if you're into a little bit of PvP, or just making PvP a bit easier in general, then this item is absolutely top tier. And if I'm in a group, I really like it when one person has them, because it can really help you out to take enemies down fast. As well as this though, another really nice one is going to be your door blockers. These things are essential if you're trying to barricade something up, give yourself a little bit of extra time, or you just want to make sure you know when someone's going to be breaching a door that's near you. So jumping into a match, just to show this and highlight a little bit easier, this is going to be your gas grenade. It stays on the ground for I think around about 20 seconds. It's got a wide span to it, so it's ridiculous when you're throwing it into rooms of enemies, enemy PvP players, and then they're going to have to get away if they don't have anything to do with helping their stamina in the slightest. So say they don't have any adrenaline shots on them, then they're going to be in a whole bunch of trouble. Like I said earlier though, as well as that, another really nice item for a team member to have is going to be the door blocker. Now, whenever you're breaching a door, say for example you found a room or a complete hallway where you want to go through, and at the end you're going to be looting things. Then you're going to pick all the goodies up, hopefully grab yourself some nice things in the process. So like here I managed to get myself a blueprint, which was pretty good. And obviously this is just for show, you wouldn't be doing this, but say for example you wanted to make it a little bit harder for people to breach this area, then you're going to put the door blocker on, and they're going to have to take a bit of time to take the door down, as if they were breaching it from a normal area, as if they were breaching it for the very first time. As far as I can tell, it takes pretty much exactly the same time as a normal breach, and it allows you and your team to set up in certain areas, hold it down if needed, and also gives you those audio cues if someone is breaking in somewhere where you've set it up on purpose. Now personally, if I'm going in with a loadout that I don't want to completely break the bank but I do want to have a lot of fun, this is what I go with. So I'll go with the Combat Mark 1 Augment. Then I try to make sure I've got a medium shield. If you can't afford that, then you're going to put on a light shield, but I did find the medium was quite a bit better. And then for your actual gun slots, which is always essential, if you can, put on an El Toro. They're really good, great for holding down places, and just really good at just close range because they're a great, easy and cheap shotty to make. But if you're not able to purchase this, or you haven't got the blueprint for it yet, then having a Stitcher also works out really nice for that close range damage. Then for your long range, go with something like a Pharaoh, just to make sure you can get a few headshots on PvP players, or to take out some of the arc that are coming your way, because there's a ridiculous amount of drones in this game. Then give yourself enough ammo so that you'll be able to get through the maps, but not so that you're going to break the bank. So you don't want to put a crazy amount in here, because obviously it will cost you a little bit more if you do lose it. Then finally, make sure you've got a few meds on you, so you're going to want some bandages and some shield charges, as well as 2 slots that are down to your preference. I tend to have things like the adrenaline shot and the gas grenade if possible, or just a standard grenade if you want to dish out a tiny bit of damage. Then you're just going to jump into a map of your choice, have a little wander around, try and find some enemies to take down if you enjoy your PvP. Here I had a person who just kept spamming don't shoot, so I did leave him alone and was waiting to get shot in the back, but luckily enough that didn't happen. Looted a few things and then got jumped by a whole bunch of these annoying spiders. Definitely one of the more annoying enemies in the game. They tend to just ninja flip and come around from anywhere, so I always find they manage to nab me when I'm not expecting it. But remember, you have some resources to heal up if you need to, so just use whatever, then keep looting and hopefully stock up nice and fast. Then you're going to want to go make sure you extract. And at these extractions now, there's a lot of these are defended by enemies, so be careful, because even if it's not by the arc, sometimes people will put the old jolt mines there just to try and trap you, so be a little bit careful when you are calling these in. But hopefully with the setup we've got, it should be good, especially if you're going to be taking out drones, because you're going to have that long range sniper on you. If they come close range, change over to the shotty and then evacuate, and hopefully have had a really successful run. This setup works out absolutely amazing. I found it really good and cheap overall, so if I did lose it, so it isn't the absolute end of the world. And as well as that, if you're encountering hostile opponents, it also works out absolutely fantastic. As you can see in the background, we had a few people jump us in one of these buildings. I was playing with my friend in a duo and we were just kind of getting pinned down because they had a ridiculous amount of mines. Because of the setup I've gone, it worked out really nice still. You're going to have a lot of fun with this build, and it's not going to break the bank, and you're not going to be completely heartbroken if you do get taken down, because you'll be able to put it together quite easily again. But yeah, hopefully that's helped a few of you guys and girls out. This is my cheap and cheerful loadout. I'll have a more viable endgame one for those players who are proper kitted out later on. As always, there'll be a whole bunch more content away from me. For now, take care. I'll see you on next day.